evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 20th of September 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. The President's decree on the waste law has caused debates between the opposition and the majority. The opposition is asking for a vote on the President's decree, which affects the law on waste imports. After debating for about a year, the majority has decided to withdraw the law on the refusal of waste imports. The waste issue was discussed in today's session of the Parliamentary Commission on Productive Activity, where the chairman of the commission announced that the Socialist Party has withdrawn the bill. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party held a clear stance on the issue. The Vice Chairman of the Commission, Democrat MP Florian Mima, said that the games the Socialist Party are playing with the waste laws must come to an end. He asked for the inclusion of 2 votes in the parliamentary agenda regarding the President's decree on waste imports and also the request the opposition filed to Parliament back in September 2016 for a referendum to stop waste imports. The chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration's parliamentary group, Petrit Vasili, also asked for a referendum and added that the law cannot be withdrawn as there are some procedures that must be followed. The chairman of the Socialist Party's parliamentary group publicly declared that the Socialist Party will withdraw the bill. I want to make something clear to the public. We are not talking about a bill, but a law. The Albanian parliament has voted on the issue and the law has been approved. The President has the law for review in order to give the majority an opportunity to reflect. The majority's duty is to review the law with the aim of approval with the President's decree. There is no legal avenue for the Socialist Party to withdraw the law as the bill has already been passed in Parliament. The Assembly Speaker must follow regulation. If he accepts such a scandalous violation of regulations, this will be the end of Parliament, said Vasili. The law on waste imports was not decreed by the then President Bujanishvili, who argued that the law was not aligned with the European Union directives, the Constitution or international conventions. Meanwhile, yesterday, the chairman of the Socialist Party's parliamentary group declared that there will be consultation on the issue with the general public. The National Inspectorate for the Protection of the Territory continues with its operation to demolish houses affecting the project for the extension of the Lana River in the Shkoza area. The residents whose houses will be demolished have expressed disappointment in the state, saying that now they do not have a place to live. Members of 3 families whose houses have already been demolished say that they are currently staying with relatives. However, this is not a long-term solution. They are asking for assistance from state institutions. Some of the Democratic Party's MPs have come to the support of the citizens, accusing the Prime Minister of failing to keep the promises he made during the electoral campaign. This is what happens when you put your trust in Edi Rama. I want to call on the government and the Prime Minister not to behave as an enemy with the citizens. I call on the Prime Minister to act humanely because there are hundreds of families that are being taken out of their homes together with their children, declared Democrat MP Paloka. Despite the statements made by the MPs, some residents stated their opinions that the Democratic Party was simply putting on a political show and asked the Democrat MPs where they were a few days ago before the destruction of the houses began. The residents even went as far as asking the MPs to leave, saying they do not need part-time politicians. The operation by the National Inspectorate for the Protection of Territory will continue until the 153 affected houses are demolished. The residents claim that following the demolitions, 700 people will be sleeping under the open sky. A national operation aimed at cleaning Albania from urban waste will be the government's top priority over their first 300 days in power. The initiative was announced by the Minister of Environment and Tourism, Blendi Klosi, during a meeting with the country's mayors held in Durrës. The minister argued that the initiative is necessary because the environment is polluted and not hospitable for tourists. The minister considered the environment to be the best guarantee for developments in tourism, announcing that the operation will be widespread and that there will be fines and punitive measures for all subjects that continue to pollute the environment. The operation will be divided into several phases and it will be similar to the mega operation against energy theft that the government conducted last year. The operation will be launched throughout the country with local units, government institutions and the Ministry of Interior all expected to aid the operation with the Ministry of the Environment. There will be fines for any businesses that earn money by damaging the environment, considering it as a property without an owner. That which happened with the operation against energy theft last year will now happen with the operation against pollution. The first phase, apart from stopping pollution, will be taking cleaning actions in the main road axes in urban centres and historic centres. Several agencies, such as the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Defence, the Public Administration, as well as schools and universities, will all engage in the operation. Of course, it is the citizens who will be our biggest allies, declared the Minister of Environment and Tourism at the meeting in Durrës. The Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Ditmir Bushati, is attending meetings and the proceedings of the 72nd session of the UN General Assembly in New York. Minister Bushati held a meeting with the OSCE Secretary General Thomas Greminger. Minister Bushati congratulated Greminger on the newly appointed role and offered Albania's readiness for assistance and collaboration in achieving the organisation's objectives. The security situation and other issues that concern the OSCE were discussed at the meeting, and they agreed on the need for greater involvement of the organisation to address crises. The aim is to fully utilise the potential and strengthen and expand the alliance between member states. Minister Bushati underlined the progress of collaboration between Albania and the OSCE in support of major reforms in the country. Discussions included the exchanging of opinions on the recent situation and developments in the Balkans and an assessment of Albania's role and contribution in strengthening peace, security and interconnection in the region. Minister Bushati stressed the need for all Western Balkan countries to be involved in the developments across Europe. Bushati emphasised that the OSCE must enable Kosovo to gradually become part of the OSCE forums, especially with those that address developments in Kosovo. The Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs also had a meeting with the Tunisian Foreign Minister. Minister Bushati congratulated his counterpart on developments in Tunisia toward the path of building democracy and open society. He went on to declare that Tunisia is an example of success from the so-called Arab Spring. The ministers agreed on increasing contact and utilising more opportunities to develop bilateral relations, with Minister Bushati inviting his counterpart to visit Albania. At the end of the meeting, the ministers signed an agreement for the removal of visa requirements for holders of diplomatic passports. The Appellate Court of Serious Crimes handed down the decision today to keep Fadil Kasemi in prison. The 52-year-old was charged with murdering his former wife, Judge Fildes Hafizi, 3 weeks ago in Tirana. In a similar fashion to the behaviour exerted in his original court appearance, which occurred just a few days after the incident, the perpetrator refused to give any explanation regarding the murder of his former wife. The lawyer defending the perpetrator asked the court to apply much lighter security measures for Fadil Kasemi. However, after reviewing the claim, the trial panel made the decision to reject the request, leaving Kasemi in custody for the murder of the judge from Shkodra's court system, who was also a mother of two. The serious event occurred on August 31st in Tirana. Meanwhile, the judge had previously denounced her former husband for domestic violence and attempted murder. The perpetrator was previously convicted for domestic violence and illegal possession of firearms back in 2015, but had been released as a result of the end-of-year's amnesty. Tirana's Mayor, Erion Veliaj, announced today that Mother Teresa Square will also be transformed into a pedestrian area, just like Skanderberg Square. The Mayor said that the project will be piloted on September 22, the Day Without Vehicles, with the aim of continuing with the implementation of the project. This year, we have transformed some areas into pedestrian areas, starting with the new bazaar and Skanderberg Square. We will continue investing in pedestrian areas. Mother Teresa Square will be one of them. As you already know, the square is currently only open to pedestrians during certain hours of the day, starting from the President's office up to the university campus. That will be the area for pedestrians in the future, together with another area behind the Ministry of Education, declared the Mayor. Apart from this, the Mayor announced that the City Hall has signed an agreement with 250 bakeries with the aim of reducing the number of plastic bags distributed. This is more than a direct victory in the battle to have a cleaner Tirana. The agreement with the bakeries reduces the use of 1 million plastic bags in Tehran. This makes us all proud. We all feel that the city is much cleaner than it used to be. With today's agreement, we will open a new chapter. I can't wait to declare Tirana a vanguard city of the Balkans. No city in the Balkans has done this yet, but I can guarantee you that we will be copied, declared the Mayor. The City Hall estimates that 250 million less plastic bags will have been used by the end of 2017. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.